Oh, Dave and Johnny live.
For what, the end of November? Is the last show in November?
No, we have another show next week, John. We're on every Friday. This is only the 22nd of November today. We'll be on next week, the 29th of November. Next week will be our last show of November. Before we hit December holiday season, I'm looking forward to the holiday season.
It's Black Friday next Friday, no?
Oh, yeah, love Black Friday. Time to empty my bank account on shit I don't need. Whoops.
You've already been doing that, though, so what are you talking about?
Yeah, sorry. So, it's Dave and Johnny Live. What are we going to do?
Well,
What do we got?
First, we have to say, where's AJ, right? Because that was a big thing.
Shout out to AJ. We love you, AJ. We're going to talk about Jim Cornette as well, similar to AJ in many ways, which we won't discuss on the show.
Well, I hope not similar. Jeez, that's pretty bad.
Well, have you talked to AJ about... Anyways, so Jim Cornette, he said some terrible things and lost his job with the NWA. And also, CM Punk, on his show, WWE Backstage, he appeared, and he said some things.
I don't know if they were terrible. Some people were upset with the swearing, though. I guess you're not supposed to swear on Backstage, and he swore. They got mad about that. I don't know if he caught that.
He swore on Backstage?
When he did that promo on Tom Arnold, I think he dropped like an S-bomb or something. So,
Oh.
yeah, you can't do that. Not on Fox.
Whatever. I didn't even notice. And also, you wrestled some matches last weekend, which we're going to talk about here on the show today. Let's start with Cornette, though.
All right.
Okay? Cornette was doing commentary for the NWA Power Show. It's a show that airs on YouTube,
It does.
right?
For their NWA YouTube channel.
It's only on YouTube, though, right?
That's right.
Okay. It's a decent show. They have some good wrestlers. You know, wrestling's good and all that.
I think so. I've watched every episode. I like it.
Every episode.
Yeah.
So, did you hear Jim Cornette say about Trevor Murdoch, he was Trevor Murdoch in the WWE.
He's still Trevor Murdoch in NWA.
How can he keep that name?
They didn't care about it. They were fine with it. He didn't sell it, maybe.
What was the name of his tag team? It was
Cade and Murdoch.
Just Cade and Murdoch. Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch.
Or Garrison Cade as well. They change his name every so often.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Sad.
Yeah. So Trevor Murdoch is still alive, and he's still wrestling, and he was wrestling in the NWA on NWA Power. And Jim Cornette says about Trevor Murdoch, now this is Jim Cornette saying this, not me, because I think it's terrible. Jim Cornette says, he's the only man I've ever known that can strap a bucket of fried chicken on his back and ride a motor scooter across Ethiopia.
Right.
And people were pretty offended by that, as you'd understand them to be. I saw that and I was like, what? You can't, the understanding, the racist connotation is that African people of African descent really like chicken. Or, I guess in Cornette's defense, you may say, no, it's just because, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be chicken. It could be steak, and they're just hungry in Ethiopia, and maybe that's a joke. But come on, man. You know what you were saying, Jim Cornette. Everybody knows what he was saying about chicken in Ethiopia. Everybody understands the racial connotations to that. And that's not the type of thing you should be saying, Jim Cornette. It's a terrible thing to say. It's a racial stereotype that you shouldn't be putting out there on a wrestling broadcast. It's not the place for your views or your jokes, your attempts at humor. It's just terrible stuff. He's disgraced himself. He's pretty much ended his association with any major wrestling company because now he's known as that guy who said that thing.
Well, you said it before, actually.
Same
comment.
Yeah, sure. He said it maybe in 1992 when people weren't paying attention to these types of things, but it's 2019, almost 2020. Jim Cornette should know better, and NWA should know better than to put that show out with the comments still on it. That show is recorded before. It's an edited broadcast. It's not live. He didn't say that thing on the fly. They had it on tape. They had it, whatever, and they put it out there with that on the show. When people got mad, they pulled it, and then they reissued the broadcast without that comment. But still, they knew that they had it there. They put it out there. And only when people got mad did they do something about it. And then, Jim Cornette has since resigned, but people assume he's been forced to resign. But he's done with the NWA. He's not doing commentary anymore, which I think is too bad because I am a fan of Jim Cornette. I think he's an entertaining wrestling personality. I think when he's doing commentary, he's a manager. He's good at it. As far as a backstage role, I've never worked for the man, so I don't know. I've heard a lot of bad stuff. I've heard some good things.
Mixed bag, yeah.
Mixed bag with Jim Cornette. But recently, of the younger generation, you hear mostly bad things about Jim Cornette, and that leads you to believe, from not just this comment, this racial comment, but a lot of his comments in general about professional wrestling, he's behind the times. He doesn't really understand where pro wrestling is today. He wants it to be like it was in the 1980s, and it's never going to be that. You got to learn to adapt. You got to learn to accept certain changes in pro wrestling. You may not like them, but Jim Cornette seems really mad about the current generation of professional wrestling. He seems like he doesn't like a lot of what's currently going on in the wrestling business, and that's fine, but, the guy's obviously out of touch, and I think he's done with any major company in pro wrestling at this point.
Well, I guess you've heard his podcast then, right? The Cornette Experience?
I don't listen to his podcast.
Or The Drive-Thru? No, he's got two podcasts.
No.
Then I guess you haven't heard what he thinks about AEW.
Well, I see things here and there online, on Twitter or whatever, about what he thinks, and it's just like, yeah, he thinks Marco Stunt is the end of the professional wrestling business.
Correct,
it's just ridiculous,
He doesn't like Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, okay.
Kenny Omega, he has a personal grudge against Kenny Omega. It's rough.
How could you dislike one of the best wrestlers in the entire world? How could you hate Kenny Omega? I don't understand. And that's kind of Jim Cornette just fighting against anything current. And that's why he shouldn't be currently involved in professional wrestling, because he's not with it. He's not down with the program. Look at Jim Ross. Jim Ross is from the same era as Jim Cornette, but he's adapted. He does commentary for AEW. He does a tremendous job. And he may not understand everything that's going on, but he doesn't bury the product. He accepts it and tries to put everybody over. He's not burying Orange Cassidy or Marco Stunt when he's doing commentary.
Well, to be fair, Cornette doesn't bury guys like Private Party. He actually sees Private Party as like a future tag team. He even says Jurassic Express with Luchasaurus, that could be your top babyface tag team in AEW. So again, it's a mixed bag, I think, with Cornette. There's some things he likes, some things he doesn't like from AEW, but it's not all bad. It's just people focus on the negative because he has such strong feelings on the negative. But I just look at that as he's very passionate about wrestling, and he cares a lot.
Yeah. But he might be a little racist, too. You can be as passionate about wrestling as you want. You can have your views, and that's totally cool. I think his views are out of touch, personally. But then when you say things that border on full-on racism on a wrestling broadcast, that's where you draw the line, and that's when you say, okay, Jim Cornette, that's enough, man. It's enough. You don't think that was a racist comment?
Well, Cornette says things like this before, though. Like we said before, he said this kind of joke. This is what you expect when you get Jim Cornette. This is his brand. This is his kind of entertainment. I don't exactly think it's a funny joke, but NWA should have realized when they hired him and paid him to be in that position, this is what you're going to get.
I disagree.
Okay, why?
If you hire Eddie Murphy to do comedy in 2019, right? He's doing a comedy special, your Netflix or something. You want to pay him to do comedy. Do you expect him to do the same brand of humor that he was doing in the 1980s?
I expect he might pay homage to a couple of things because people want to see that stuff.
But certain things that he said by today's standards would be unacceptable. What I'm saying is you adapt and you change with the times, because jokes you may have made in 1992 don't fly in 2019. There are words you can't say. There are
Right.
things you can't say. And some of them maybe you should still be able to say, but a lot of them it's good that we've changed and we have become, I think, a more evolved and better society. Jim Cornette maybe didn't get the memo.
Right. But again, they record this when they're doing this, and then someone looks back and watches the video, and nobody caught that. So many ears heard this and didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
And yet that still exists in NWA.
Well, he's the scapegoat. It's not only his fault that it went to air, but it is his fault that he said it.
Right.
So he's got to go, right? You understand why they had to let him go.
Well, I get they needed a scapegoat. It's a sad thing though, where it's only him pretty much that gets the blame for it.
So you want more people fired, John? You want the production staff of NWA fired? Maybe they didn't hear it. Maybe they didn't know. Who would expect Jim Cornette would say something racist on commentary?
When he said this joke before in the past, you wouldn't expect he'd say something like this
In what
again?
year did he say the joke, John?
Regardless, it was in the early 90s.
No, not regardless. That means something. That provides context to what we're talking about.
I think they should realize what they were getting, and clearly they didn't.
Clearly they didn't.
Clearly.
And now he's gone.
It's sad.
No, it's not sad. It's sad that Cornette doesn't know what he can and can't say. I don't know what his problem is.
No, it's sad because...
It's sad that he thinks he can tell a joke like this on a wrestling show. What's going through his mind? How old is Jim Cornette? What's the matter with him?
Well, regardless of the age, the sad part is that I think a lot what gets lost in this is that there was a very good wrestling show that went out there, but all people are talking about is this. Like, you know, Melina debuted for NWA?
Yeah?
And yeah, so you didn't even know about that. Like, that was huge. That was big.
He's 58. He's not that old. He should know better. You know what I mean? Like, a 58-year-old man should know not to say that on TV. You know? You're 50. You know, like, he's not 88. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're
Right.
88 and you say things like that, like Don Cherry, you know, says crazy things, he got fired. He's 85. I'm kind of like, man, he's pretty old. Doesn't he get a pass for being super old? Apparently not. I thought you got a pass for being old and racist. Apparently not. You can't be old and racist anymore. But Jim Cornette's not that old. He's not even 60. He's still a young-ish man, you know? At 58, Jimmy Cornette, you should know better.
Well, I look forward to hearing his response on his podcast. I definitely look forward to seeing hearing what he's going to say about this.
Meanwhile, you're not surprised? I thought Cornette would be a little older than 58. He's been in the wrestling business forever. Still young. Good for him.
Well, I think he's still
I thought he was older. I don't know. Because he was like a wrestling manager when I was a kid, you know?
Right. I don't think this is going to be the end of him in wrestling, though. Look at Hogan.
Jim Cornette's not Hulk Hogan.
Right, but people move
come on. Imagine what Hulk Hogan means to pro wrestling, you know?
Things blow over. People move on. I think it's going to happen as well. I don't see... People are saying Jim Cornette to AEW. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think he wants to go to AEW.
No. You might be right, though, because at 58, like in 10 years, people will totally forget. In 5 years, people will totally forget. And Jim Cornette at 63 still knows a whole lot about pro wrestling and could be useful to a wrestling company. I just, wouldn't put him on air.
The man
Because you don't know what he's going to say, and he might say some terrible, terrible things.
The man has probably forgotten more about wrestling than we actually know about wrestling.
For sure. He's one of the greatest wrestling minds, wrestling historians that we have today. However, let's not act like a bunch of wrestling guys from the 80s aren't racist, though. I mean, come on. You hear stories.
Of course. Hear a bunch of things.
Yeah. Ask Teddy Long about stories. Go on YouTube and search Teddy Long stories, There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, it doesn't make any of it right.
No, of course not. It's horrible. What I'm saying is, it's difficult. It's problematic. Certain guys in wrestling that you may love may be racist. Like Hulk Hogan.
Well, I
you
think,
know, like it's a thing. It's a thing that's there in pro wrestling, and you could choose to ignore it. But you know, facts are facts here. Guys say things. Things are said. And a certain generation, not just in pro wrestling, but a lot of it in pro wrestling, you know, there's some racism going on.
Well, I think the sad part is they think racist jokes. Some people just think, oh, it's okay to do it because it's just joking. That's why. For some reason, I guess in the 80s it was okay to do that. But now I guess people have decided, no, you can't do that.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, probably a good idea. But I think it's sad that Cornette lost his job because of this. Not the end of the world, I think, for him. I think, you know, he'll be able to move on. He still makes money.
What do you mean you think it's sad that Cornette lost his job because of this?
Well, I just look at it like NWA. I think what they were trying to build here, he was the last like original member of NWA. They don't have anyone from the original NWA anymore.
Well, I think it's unfortunate that he said what he said.
Right.
But I don't think it's unfortunate that he lost his job because he said what he said. You understand the difference?
I guess, sure. I just think it's bad for just NWA going forward now.
Yeah, it gives him a bad name.
Well, people remember this, and they don't remember like the good product they're putting out, and that's the sad part.
What is so good about the NWA? What is the good match that you're watching? What is the good thing that you're seeing there that you like?
Well, Colt Cabana, I think, is fantastic. I told you about the promo.
Yeah, he's very good.
And it's cool that they had that great story with him finally becoming the national champion, defeating James Storm. I'm more than likely seeing a rematch or maybe a four-way of some kind. It seems like we're going to the pay. They have a pay-per-view, by the way, December 14th. And it's too bad. Again, all this controversy overshadows all what they're trying to do here.
Yeah. Colt Cabana, I think, is great. Colt Cabana versus James Storm doesn't do much for me.
Well, it's either him or Mr. Anderson or Ricky Starr, one of the new guys they have there. So I think it might be a four-way.
That doesn't do it, you know?
Okay.
It doesn't sell pay-per-view for me. Like, I'm not going to buy anything for that.
All right, well, I don't know what's going to help you buy this pay-per-view then. Because I know you don't know a lot of the women besides maybe Melina, and she just showed up.
I know some of them. Who's there?
You know Thunder Rosa?
No.
She actually fights for Del Rio's...
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Who else is there?
Who else is there? There's Ashley Vox. I don't think you know these people, so...
Camille is there, isn't she?
Yes, but she's not wrestling, though.
Wasn't she, like, dating Braun Strowman?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I think she used to date Braun Strowman.
Okay. Well, she's like, you know, a powerlifting kind of person. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I think that's how I know her. I was like, who's this lady? She looks like a pro wrestler. I saw a picture of her and Braun Strowman. It was like, oh, this is Braun Strowman's girlfriend. I was like, what? Who is this? And she's a pro wrestler. I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, she's just the valet for Magnus right now.
Oh, okay.
Or Nick Aldis.
The champion.
The champion, yeah.
Still the champion.
Still the champ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're not a big Aldis fan, so...
Like, he's all right. But, like, for a company to have him as the main event doesn't draw me in. I don't see him as a draw.
I really enjoyed his matches with Cody. I thought that they had some very good matches. They aired recently, the second one, when he won the belt back from Cody. I thought that was very good, where Camilla made her debut.
Okay.
Thought that was very good.
Cody's on fire right now.
Cody's very good. Cody did not show up on AEW this week, unfortunately, so...
He'll be back on Wednesday. He's returning to AEW Dynamite on Wednesday.
That's good.
Should be a good card. They got Hangman MJF, Jericho Scorpio Sky for the title, Pac versus Kenny Omega. It's a pretty good lineup right there.
Yeah, it's good. Let's just hope they can bounce back. They lost the ratings this week, so I'm sure they want to change that next week.
AEW lost the ratings, the overall ratings, to NXT this week for the first time.
So they're what, the 7-1 now, I guess, in the war, yeah?
8-1?
Well, this was week 8, right?
I thought this was week 9.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah,
I don't
maybe
know.
you're right.
Doesn't matter. It's the first time NXT won. Do you think they win again next week?
It's tough because, like, they brought pretty much the big guns, right, for this one?
That's it.
So But
once Survivor Series is over, the crossover kind of dies.
see, this is what I'm thinking now. Survivor Series, you need someone to defect to NXT. So then you tune in to NXT next Wednesday to see what will happen.
Maybe. Is Kevin Owens booked for Survivor Series?
See, the Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins stuff, I don't think so because they teased that already, right? I think it's someone you are not going to expect. Probably someone on Team SmackDown, maybe.
Kevin Owens is on Team Raw, right?
Right.
Uh-huh. Someone you might not expect, John. Well, we'll preview Survivor Series on the Wrestling Uncensored show that'll be on the YouTube channel tomorrow. You can watch that, like the video, subscribe, leave a comment. We'll also be on Sunday during Survivor Series for a Survivor Series watch-along coming up around 9 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 Eastern, Sunday night. A little bit of a watch-along post-show right here on the YouTube channel for Survivor Series. So we got a pretty busy weekend coming up pro wrestling-wise.
Yeah, maybe I'll be here. Maybe I won't.
Yeah,
Tune
John
in,
is
find
a
out.
TBA. So it'll be me and TBA.
Well, your brother, for sure,
He
right?
should be here.
Oh, there you go.
TBA.
Good.
We'll see.
AJ. No?
I don't think we'll see AJ. Where's AJ? AJ was not on Ringside Report last night. You could watch a Dave and Fred only version of Ringside Report right now on the YouTube channel. That happened yesterday. AJ wasn't here. Where was AJ?
Maybe you just got to get used to that. And, just AJ's on vacation and that's it.
What do you mean we got to get used to it?
Well, he said he was in rehab or something on the chat, actually, so.
AJ's in rehab for what?
With Nick Diaz. They're partying up too much.
Oh, well, that's a lie.
That's a lie.
Yeah, that's a lie. AJ doesn't partake in any substances. We all know why AJ is not on the show, but we can't say. We're not allowed to say.
I don't know 100%. I have an idea, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I'm not allowed to say anything because.
Shut up, John. Why are you playing dumb? You're acting like Fred was last night, playing dumb, acting like you don't know. You do know.
I have an idea, but I was never told anything directly. I just have an idea. I see photos of things, and it's like, oh, okay, he's up to something. But no one ever said, like, oh, he's not going to be on Ringside Report, and he's not going to be on for who knows how long.
Okay, but you know why he wasn't on the show yesterday.
Right.
And we don't know if he's going to be on the show next week or the week after.
Well, I haven't talked. You talked to him.
We don't know when he's coming back, but we do know he is coming back, but we can't say why. But he's okay. AJ's okay.
I think that's the
We
good
can
thing.
say that. He's doing fine.
That's the best thing for his fan base. That's freaking out right
Yeah,
now.
AJ's fan base is like, what? Where's AJ? You know those fake accounts that AJ creates to, AJ has fake accounts.
Yeah, but there are some actual real people there.
AJ claims that he doesn't have fake accounts, but, like, we know he does.
Fine.
Fred and I had evidence last night.
But I know Marco, like, actually is a real person. I met him.
Well,
so.
yeah, Marco's a real person, but, like, there are other accounts that I'm pretty sure are AJ.
Right, yeah, I get it. But for the people that actually care that are not robots.
And a lot of
worry.
those accounts are pro AJ. He's got pro AJ dummy accounts.
Right.
And he's got a whole tech team, apparently, and I have never met any of them. He's got a whole team. I don't know why a man has a team.
Well, I just, self-promotion. It's good. I like it.
All right, how about CM Punk on WWE Backstage? Did you like that?
Loved it. Thought it was great.
Yeah?
Yeah. I love more Punk. We need more Punk.
What was great about it?
I just like that he pretty much, like, dispelled a lot of the rumors, the Seth Rollins stuff, like if he's coming back or not. Like, he just put that all to bed, pretty much.
Did he?
I think so.
He cut a promo on Seth Rollins saying, don't bother me. I'm not going to come wrestle you. You're not worth my time. That's a promo, though. It was a promo. So he didn't really put anything to bed. He just left more questions out there because in the promo, he's like, oh, I'm not going to come back and wrestle. If I did, why would I even wrestle you, Seth Rollins? Ha, ha, ha. But at the same time, if you're cutting a promo on him, if you're talking about him, well, you're kind of planting the seeds for a match if you do decide to come back. So he didn't really answer any of those questions.
I don't think he's coming back anytime soon. Like, he pretty much stated, like, he doesn't want to work with jerks. And you know what he talks about when he means jerks. He doesn't want to work with Triple H pretty much.
What are you talking about?
So, There's also Corey Graves as well. There's all that heat. Remember, like when Corey like ripped on him when he lost the second fight. There's a lot of people he'd have to deal with that he doesn't have to deal with in his current position. So I don't think he's going to wrestle anytime soon. Again, never say never, like he said, but I think he's just happy doing what he's doing right now, just talking about wrestling and kind of burying the product too. Buried Baron Corbin in his first gig. That was pretty good.
Yeah, but like, who didn't bury that Baron Corbin segment? You know, like, that was a softball. That was an easy one. Hey, Punk, what did you think about this stupid segment we did on SmackDown where a guy came out in a dog mascot costume and barked because he's, like, not the big dog anymore? He was pretending to be Roman Reigns. Like, I don't even know what the hell that was. Like, of course it was terrible. Everybody said it was terrible. Everybody. The WWE knows it was terrible. And that's why they asked Punk, hey, Punk, what do you think of this? And he's like, oh, that was awful. I don't know this Baron Corbin guy too much, but, like, that wasn't very good. He didn't bury Baron Corbin. He basically buried the segment in the writing. He didn't say anything controversial in that moment whatsoever.
Well, he called it garbage.
So?
I don't see a Samoa Joe. I don't see Paige saying that kind of stuff.
Well, he's supposed to be the, like, risky guy. It was a garbage segment, and he said it was a garbage segment. Big deal.
He spoke the truth, at least.
No, he didn't. He didn't say that, you know, this Corbin stuff is really silly, and obviously Roman Reigns is going to get revenge on him eventually and just take him out. And it seems like we're heading towards Roman Reigns and The Fiend, and probably that's going to be WrestleMania, and that doesn't sound too good, and from what I'm hearing, that seems to be the rumors, and I don't really want to see that. I don't know about you, but this Roman Reigns guy, I don't think he's really getting over, and maybe they should pull the plug, because at a certain point, you know, if you push a guy to the moon, and if it doesn't really work, you got to pull the plug and go in a different direction. There's real pressure from outside companies. There's pressure from within your own company with NXT. SmackDown looks terrible, and maybe the problem is Roman Reigns. Like, Punk's not going to say that. He's not going to say that at all, okay? You know who is going to say that? Me! I'm going to say that!
Yeah, but Punk hasn't watched that much WWE programming, so I don't think he's looked that far ahead and can see that or cares that much at this point. So you're just more of a bigger fan than he is right now.
Well, I'm paying more attention than he has been. Maybe eventually he'll figure out, like, oh, what's going on here? What's the direction here? But he's not going to say it. He's not going to say it on TV. What did he really say on TV? My favorite thing he said on TV was when Renee brought up those Shield guys. He's like, oh, those Shield guys. Who's your favorite Shield guy? And Renee's like, I like them all equally. Of course, you know, her husband is Dean Ambrose, who's now Jon Moxley, who main evented AEW Dynamite this week.
She tweets about it, though, like when he wrestles.
Of course. But it was just a funny little joke, you know, by Punk, and I thought that was the best moment that he had. So I didn't think he had a great performance. I wasn't blown away by the show. I don't think he said anything that would upset the WWE brass. I don't think Punk said anything on that show that would piss off Vince McMahon. Not a damn thing.
Well, he upset the people at Fox because of the swearing in the promo, so I can't imagine Vince was happy about that. But again, it's the ratings.
Wow.
They got the ratings, though.
I mean, it's midnight when he's saying that. The show airs at 11 p.m. Eastern. Like, it's on cable. Really? They're mad?
Yeah, I'm surprised they're mad, but I still, it's Fox. I guess you can't swear on a Fox network like that.
Well, when you pay a guy as much as they're paying Punk, you want them to do exactly what you tell them.
Hopefully he'll be there more often.
Is he going to be there on every show?
No, he's not going to be.
Really?
Yeah, so that's going to be kind of rough when he's not there.
Well, if that's all we get, that was really not much. That was not much of anything.
I look forward to next one.
I was unimpressed.
All right, I look forward to next one. I want to see more.
Do you like WWE backstage? Do you feel like you're getting information or a take that you wouldn't get anywhere else? Like, are you benefiting from the show? It was the first episode I ever watched, the episode this week with Punk.
Okay.
It felt like I was watching a pre-show to a pay-per-view that never happened.
I get that. Yeah, sure.
It's Renee and Booker and Paige and Joe, and here's CM Punk, or here's Shawn Michaels, or here's Jerry Lawler, like, whatever.
We had Ember.
Here's David Otunga. Like, get to the matches already.
We had Ember Moon this week.
It's Peter Rosenberg, like, come on.
David
the guy with the hair.
David Arquette, too, as well.
Yeah. That other guy. They have a new guy. Maca something.
I forget his name.
McAfee?
I forget.
I don't know.
They're not really important, these people.
It felt like a pre-show to a pay-per-view that never happened. Good job, WWE Backstage. At least that UFC Tonight show that they had on Fox broke news for the UFC. It was actually a good show. This one, not too good.
I want to see more Punk.
Break any news other than Ember Moon's hurt and going to be out for a while. We're wondering where she was. She's hurt.
Yeah, but I knew that. Like, a lot of people knew that. They just confirmed it, but okay.
Yeah. Where are the Usos? How about they talk about that? How about they do a feature on the Usos and Naomi next week and figure out why they haven't been on TV in months?
That'd be fun. I don't think they'll do that, though, but...
The only thing I've heard about that is that they don't have anything creatively for them right now.
They're on SmackDown, though, I think.
You don't have anything creatively for the Usos? They're one of your best tag teams.
Yeah, but look what all the other tag teams, they have to repush the New Day because they're the tag team champions again.
I find it strange that they're still not on TV. I don't think it's a creative issue. I think there's something else going on there. Why would they be off for so long? Unless they're planning a total repackage of the Usos and they want to take time to figure out what they're going to do. But, like, how much are you really going to repackage them?
Well, and Naomi as well. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Where's Naomi? Like, that's what makes it extra weird, right?
Well, I would have thought she'd be on, like, Team Raw or something, if she's even considered for this. Like,
is she on Raw?
She's currently not on anything right now, so.
Right.
But she would have made sense for Team Raw.
Not if the Usos are going to SmackDown.
No, that's true. That's a good point.
Because she's married to Jimmy Uso, right? If you don't know. If you don't watch Total Divas, which you all should.
Season finale was this week, no?
I don't know. I'm behind. I'm like 3 or 4 episodes behind. I was watching some of it this week, but it was an old one. Like from 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was good, though. I liked it. Ronda Rousey and so on.
It's nice. I guess you get your Ronda fix. It's good.
It's a good show. I like Total Divas. It's fun. Corey Graves and Carmella out on the town.
That must be great, yes.
No, it's pretty boring. I skipped over some of it. I was like, I don't care about Corey Graves and Carmella learning to dance. Like, they took a dancing lesson. I was like, this sucks. Was it a dancing lesson? I think it was. I don't know. I skipped over it.
I read something about, like, Natty was upset because Ronda's, like, dogs didn't like her. She should put, like, peanut butter on herself so the dogs would like her.
Okay.
Apparently that's a skit in the show. Sounds terrible.
Sounds like something the E producers cooked up.
Sounds bad.
Yeah. It's not a great show. It's not a bad show. I mean, it's a bad show, but I like it.
Right.
You know?
We watched 90 Days, I remember.
That's it, you know? You watch that still?
It's been a while.
Yeah? I don't watch it anymore either. I guess we can't do this anymore. That's over with. We're not doing that anymore.
It was good while it lasted.
There's too many episodes of 90 Day Fiancé these days. I try to watch it, and it's just like, it's constant 90 Day Fiancé. It used to be like there was one season, it aired for like a couple of months, and then it was gone for a few months, and then it came back. But now it's like constantly on, and sometimes 2 seasons at once, and it's too much, man. I don't know what's going on. I lost track of everybody, and now I don't care because I don't have time. Partly because there's so much pro wrestling now to watch. There's like more wrestling than ever to watch, and I don't have time for 90 Day Fiancé in my life anymore.
That's it. I put those 2 hours for NWA and AEW Dark, so wrestling wins.
Wrestling always wins. Did you win in your wrestling matches this weekend?
I lost the first one. I had a singles match, wrestled Jake Matthews. I lost that. It was in Danville, Quebec for FAW.
How'd it go?
It was a very good match, I thought. Third match on the card. Jam-packed, 200 people in there. Really good show. Really a lot of fun. I mean, Jake, we've wrestled each other so many times over the years. I was the face, he was the heel. He had his wife in his corner. She played a bit of a distraction. Got some good heat off that.
His wife with the lollipop there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw her when he wrestled. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you were at the Anjou show. Like,
Yeah.
she was there. Yeah. So we had some good heat, good chops back and forth. The heat spot was she played the distraction. He hit me with a kendo stick, top of the head. Don't know if you could tell, there's a bit of bruising on the side of my head right here.
I can't really tell.
Well, that's it. It went away. It's been a while. So.
Hit you with a kendo stick in the head.
Yeah.
Yikes.
My idea. I actually wanted
Good idea.
I wanted a shovel because he usually comes up with a shovel, but we only had a kendo stick around, so.
He didn't have a shovel?
No, he didn't bring a shovel, unfortunately. So.
Why didn't he bring the shovel? I thought it's part of his gimmick.
It's a spot show kind of thing, so didn't bring everything.
Forget the shovel.
Yeah, but the kendo was good.
He beat you.
He did because his wife interfered again, and yeah, he caught me in his crossface chicken wing submission the second time around. So.
And this was a no DQ match?
No, but she played a distraction. That's why the kendo stick.
Oh.
That's why, I had the pin, but his wife came on the apron.
Terrible refereeing.
Terrible referee. I got screwed, but,
Yeah.
It was good. Crowd was into it.
Good crowd?
Oh, fantastic. They loved me.
What kind of numbers are we talking about?
Again, it's like in the 200 range. It was packed.
Nice.
They couldn't, I don't think, fit any more people. People were standing, it was standing room only kind of thing. So that's pretty good.
What was the main event?
Main event saw Dave the Justice against Carl Gibson, Jeremy Prophet's partner. And he became the new double champion in FAW.
Who did?
Dave Justice.
Dave Justice?
Yeah.
Sid Justice's son?
No.
Oh. Okay, cool. And what about Sunday?
Sunday, I had that tag match finally, me and Bjork against Onyx and Justin Turnbull.
Yeah, you and Bjork the Viking.
Right. We finally put our powers together and took down the reigning champions of Torture Chamber.
Yeah, Onyx and Suicide Jesus.
It's fun because there's not a lot of dives that are done at the Torture Chamber because not a lot of room, as you know, there. Yeah, Turnbull did actually dive on me near the end of the match.
Nice.
Yeah, well, it was kind of crazy because there's not exactly a lot of room, but somehow he pulled it off and didn't kill himself. So that's good. I'm okay too, so that's even better. But in the end, because of that, Bjork was able to finish off Onyx in the ring. We got the 1-2-3. So Bjork has pinned the British Commonwealth champion, and he's a number one contender. So he's got a lot of momentum going into his title match, which is yet to have been announced.
Okay.
So
it's not going to be at that next Anjou show?
No, he's wrestling Novocaine Onyx.
Right.
Yeah.
Who's Novocaine again? I know that guy, but I don't know that guy, you know?
Well, he's the guy who makes all the posters. You see all the posters for the show? He makes those posters.
Okay.
And he's a rather large individual.
He's been wrestling for a while, though, right?
I think you may have actually seen him wrestle Green Phantom one time.
Okay.
At a show.
That's possible.
Yeah, he wrestled him there.
Because I definitely know the name, and I know that, I know him, but I can't remember when I've seen him.
You can
wrestle.
ask. You can
seen
ask
him
Phantom.
around. So yeah. So you won one, lost one. Good matches on both sides. What was it like wrestling Suicide Jesus? First time, right? You wrestled Onyx before, but you haven't wrestled Jesus.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, he's a fast little guy, but he likes to bring it, which is good.
Yeah.
And he can take a good beating because we threw him around quite a bit, but he kept coming back. It was pretty cool where he caught me in the air, actually, with a drop kick. So he's quite athletic.
And you were the main event of that show, right?
Well, yes, of course. It's the champs against,
the
soon-to-be champions.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Top heels versus the top baby faces.
That's how it was drawn up, pretty much, yes.
Yeah. All right, when's the next one?
The next will be the Anjou show, actually.
Oh, yeah, when's that?
It will be, I believe, in 2-3 weeks. It's actually when you guys are doing the UFC post show, actually.
December 14th?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, well, don't worry. I'm not wrestling on it, so don't worry about it.
You're not wrestling on that card?
No, apparently they said I suck, so I will wrestle on the show.
Who said you suck?
Onyx got on the mic afterwards and okay, Bjork, you won. You're going to get your title shot eventually. Genesis, you suck, so you're not wrestling on the next show.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I know. So I'm not wrestling the next show. That's the storyline anyways.
Well, I'm not going to the next show then.
Okay. Well, I'm not wrestling, so don't worry about it.
Are you going to be there?
I will be there because Bjork's going to be wrestling.
Oh,
so.
okay. So you'll be there in some capacity.
Backup. Backup's always good.
Well, I'm not going unless you have a booked match. Unless you have an announced match, I'm not going.
Understood. I figured you have a UFC post show to do.
Yeah, I'm going to watch the UFC instead. I'll watch Max Holloway fight.
Fair enough.
And those other guys. Usman and whatever.
Makes sense.
We got a question here from Jenny D. She asks, do you think we'll see AJ Lee back in the WWE? I don't think we'll see her wrestle in the WWE, but I could see her appearing on WWE Backstage. Her husband's there, CM Punk, so I think we'll probably see her on WWE Backstage as a guest at least once, but I don't think she'll wrestle again in the WWE. I think her wrestling career is done.
I think if Paige could still wrestle, I think they do a tag match or at least a singles against each other because they're good friends. I think she'd come back for Paige, but I don't think there's anyone else really to come back for at this point. I don't think AJ versus like Charlotte. I don't think a lot of people would really want to see that.
I would.
You would? Okay. I don't know.
I'd like to see AJ back in the WWE. I just don't think she wants to do it.
Right.
She hasn't indicated that she wants to go back to pro wrestling. Honestly, I think AEW would really need somebody like AJ Lee. You know, a star, somebody that people know,
right,
to kind of be the centerpiece of the women's division because they're lacking in stars right now, in people that are known. You know, Riho's a champion. She's getting over. And then we have Hikaru Shida, who won a match this week, and I guess she's the number one contender or getting up there, right? Because she beat Britt Baker this week.
Yeah.
So that seemed like a big match, but like, I'm not super familiar with Hikaru Shida, so you keep throwing these challengers at Riho, and it's not a clearly defined division in AEW. Whereas if you had somebody like AJ Lee, it would help add some definition to what's going on there. You know, it would help clear up like, oh, okay, here's AJ, she's a star, and maybe she's the champion or she's challenging, but at least you'd have a big star in the division. AEW doesn't really have major stars in their women's division like they've been able to do in their tag and men's singles divisions.
Well, the major problem, too, is someone who can talk. Besides maybe Brandy.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else can really talk in the women's division. So it's really hard to connect with these wrestlers when you don't really know much about them when they don't talk. So. Yeah.
AJ's a great talker, a good wrestler, should be really good in AEW. I don't think it's going to happen either. You know, if I were AEW, I'd throw a ton of money and.
I don't think that's going to happen though. Still, like, I don't think she'd go to AEW. Like, does she really want to come back and wrestle at this point? Get hurt again?
I don't know, man. The Khan family's got billions of dollars. If you give AJ Lee $10 million to wrestle for a year, I think she'd probably take it. I mean, I don't think AEW is going to offer that kind of money to her, but I'm just saying, like the great $1 Million Man once said, every man or woman has their price.
I just think if you really like wrestling, like, yeah, then of course the money.
He said every man has his price, but I had to change it there. And now I'm thinking you probably would have to change it again. Every man, woman, or, you know what I mean? Like, there's
I understand.
It's tough, man. It's tough. $1 Million Man could not get by in these times, just like Jim Cornette.
PC Dave over here. It's good to know.
What are you going to do?
But I don't think we're going to see AJ. I think they want to move forward with new stars. That seems to be what AEW is doing instead of going back to the past.
Yeah, but Chris Jericho's their world champion. So, you know, there's still room for going back to the past. Dustin Rhodes still wrestles on their product. Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone do their commentary. I mean, there's, you know, still a lot of elements of nostalgia on AEW. Billy Gunn was in a Battle Royal this week.
Right, and that was great. It's good.
So don't tell me there's no room for an AJ Lee in the company. Awesome Kong is in the company. She's been wrestling for years. Longer than AJ, probably. So, no.
I just don't think it's make or break with AJ. Like CM Punk, that was kind of a big deal to get him or not get him. But with AJ, it's like, well, there's going to be other women. It's fine. You could find someone else.
I still don't understand why Punk didn't go to AEW. He could have really hurt the WWE had he gone to AEW, and I thought he wanted to hurt the WWE. He seemed very bitter a few years ago. I guess that bitterness has subsided, and they gave him a lot of money to go to Fox and do the deal, but I'm surprised he didn't go to AEW. A little disappointed. You know, I thought it would be a more fun move for him than doing what he's doing. Him wrestling like Kenny Omega or something like that, Jon Moxley, Hangman Page, Pac, whatever, would be more fun than him sitting around talking to Renee. Like, I'd rather see Punk wrestling, you know, WWE or AEW than sitting around and talking to Renee.
He seems happy, though. And I think that's really a positive thing that you need to kind of exploit at this point. The fact that Punk
What about me, John? What about my happiness, man? I'm trying to be entertained.
Yeah, but he entertained us for so many years. Like, let him be happy. You know? Like,
no, that's fine. If this is what he wants to
killed himself for us.
Yeah, sure. If this is what he wants to do, great. If he's making money, great. I'm happy for Phil Brooks. But the CM Punk character, this is Phil Brooks. It's not CM Punk.
Fine.
You know?
He said that too on that Phil Cower show, I think. Like, it's a character. It's, you know, it's not his name.
Yeah. That character is over.
Yeah.
We're just seeing Phil Brooks now, and Phil Brooks is kind of, he's all right, but
Something wrong with him.
he's 0-2 UFC fighter, Phil Brooks.
Okay, that's one way of looking at it. You're looking at the negative. You're going to get an F- now from Punk now, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. What's he going to do? What's he going to do?
He's just going to make his money at Fox. That's what he's going to do.
I think I'd smash him, to be honest.
I don't know about that. It's tough.
Really?
He's bigger than you.
So?
And he has, regardless, he has a bit of experience.
Yeah, but I've seen him fight.
The size advantage, I'd give it to him.
He's not that much bigger than me. He's not that big, John.
He's been through more fights, though. You know that.
I've taken bigger.
Okay. All right. Well,
I've tapped bigger guys.
Good luck.
I mean, I think if we rolled jiu-jitsu, straight jiu-jitsu, I think I'd beat him.
Right, but it doesn't start like that, and you know that.
Yeah, in an MMA fight, he might have a shot, but straight jiu-jitsu, I don't think he wins against me.
Okay.
You know, I'm pretty sure I'd smash him.
Right, but you got to get to that point, as you know.
Yeah. How's his wrestling? How good of a wrestler can he really be? Didn't look that good in the UFC. No disrespect, he just looked like a terrible, terrible fighter. Like, it's just like, come on, man. Don't you know in the gym that you're that bad? You should pull out. Be like, no. But he wanted the money. It was a money grab, you know?
Well, didn't you say you wanted to challenge somebody on the show last night? Like, was it you against, like, Logan Paul? We were talking about that on the chat. Like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because you said you wanted to fight or something. Like, you said you could take people on.
No, Fred wants a fight. We need to get Fred a fight.
Oh, okay.
Or AJ.
Okay.
I'll take a fight, too. Oh, yeah, we'll all fight. Let's get all three of us a fight. Some sort of 6-man tag.
Wow.
Oh, 8-man tag? You want in? I mean, you've done 8-man tags before.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, fine. You're not on our team then. You can manage us.
Yeah, I'll just take your money. It's good.
No, wrestling manager, where you get no money and you just stand on the outside of the ring.
Just talk.
Yeah, just talk. All right, this show's over. I'm ending it.
No more other comments? No?
No.
Questions?
No more questions. No further questions.
Cool. All right.
Watch Wrestling Uncensored. It'll be on tomorrow on the YouTube channel. And subscribe, like it, enjoy it, comment, so on. Click the bell when you subscribe so you get notifications every time we're on. Tomorrow morning, Wrestling Uncensored will be up. And then right after Survivor Series, or during Survivor Series, we'll be on around 9:30 Eastern Time. Stay tuned to the YouTube channel. Follow us. We'll be sending out links at Dave Simon MMA on Twitter and Instagram, at Genesis Johnny North on Instagram, North Genesis on Twitter.
Easy like that.
Easy like that.